The Zerithians, an advanced and highly logical alien species, prided themselves on their efficiency and rationality. Their society, built on the principles of pragmatism, had achieved technological marvels that other civilizations could only dream of. Upon discovering Earth, the Zerithians decided to study its inhabitants before making any formal contact. What they found both intrigued and baffled them. Commander Ziltrax, a seasoned Zerithian officer, led the observation mission. From their cloaked ship orbiting Earth, Ziltrax and his team scrutinized human behavior through advanced surveillance systems. They were particularly focused on the humans' military capabilities, seeking to understand what kind of threat or ally they might face. As the Zerithians observed various military exercises, one peculiar human practice caught their attention: the naming of weapons. They watched as soldiers spoke to their rifles, tanks, and even aircraft as if they were sentient beings. This ritual seemed absurd to the Zerithians, who saw weapons purely as tools to be used and discarded when no longer functional. "Commander, look at this," Lieutenant Rickson said, displaying footage of a human soldier meticulously cleaning a rifle he called Betty. Ziltrax watched, bemused. "They named their weapons? Ridiculous. It's as if they believe these objects have some sort of soul." The Zerithians found the practice so amusing that they compiled a report filled with sarcastic commentary on human sentimentality. They predicted that such emotional attachment to inanimate objects would make humans weak and inefficient in battle. Despite their initial disdain, the Zerithians decided to initiate contact with Earth through a cultural exchange program. They believed that direct interaction would provide deeper insights into human behavior and, perhaps, reveal other weaknesses. Commander Ziltrax, still skeptical and slightly condescending, led a delegation of Zerithian diplomats, scientists, and soldiers to Earth. Upon arrival, the Zerithians were greeted by a team of human diplomats and military personnel at a secure facility. The atmosphere was tense but cordial, each side curious about the other. Captain Sarah Mitchell, the head of the human delegation, extended a warm welcome. "Commander Ziltrax, it's an honor to have you here," she said, shaking his hand firmly. "We hope this exchange will foster mutual understanding and cooperation between our species." Ziltrax nodded politely, though he remained doubtful about what he could learn from these emotionally driven creatures. "Thank you, Captain Mitchell. We are eager to understand your ways." The first few days of the exchange were filled with presentations and discussions about each culture's history, technology, and societal structure. The Zerithians were particularly interested in human military history, hoping to glean strategic insights. However, they couldn't shake their amusement at the humans' habit of naming their weapons. To address this curiosity, Captain Mitchell arranged a live-fire exercise. She believed that seeing the weapons in action might help the Zerithians understand the practical reasons behind naming them. The exercise took place at a sprawling military base, where both humans and Zerithians gathered to observe. Sergeant Jack Daniels, a burly and charismatic soldier known for his prowess in combat, was chosen to lead the demonstration. He proudly showcased his heavily customized shotgun, affectionately named Boomstick. "Meet Boomstick," Daniels announced with a grin. "She's been with me through thick and thin, modified to perfection. You'll see why she deserves a name." The Zerithians exchanged skeptical glances but watched intently as Daniels began the demonstration. He moved with practiced precision, firing at targets with deadly accuracy. "Boomstick," roared with each shot, the sound echoing across the range. The modifications Daniels had made were evident in the weapon's performance, as it easily outmatched standard-issue shotguns. Commander Ziltrax found himself unexpectedly impressed. The weapon's power and versatility were undeniable. Despite his initial dismissal, he started to grasp the significance of naming weapons. It wasn't just sentimentality, it was about personalization, optimization, and a soldier's bond with their tools. As the demonstration continued, Daniels explained the history behind Boomstick. He spoke of battles fought and lives saved, attributing much of his success to the trust he placed in his weapon. The narrative added a layer of depth that the Zerithians hadn't anticipated. By the end of the exercise, the Zerithians' perspective had begun to shift. They realized that naming weapons was more than a quaint human tradition, it was a practice that enhanced performance and morale. Commander Ziltrax couldn't deny the tactical advantages that came from such a strong emotional connection. Returning to their quarters, Ziltrax and his team discussed what they had witnessed. "Perhaps there is more to these humans than we initially thought," Ziltrax admitted. "Their methods may seem irrational, but they yield results." Lieutenant Vixen nodded. "We should continue to observe and learn. There is value in understanding their ways, even if they differ from our own." Commander Ziltrax stood at the edge of the training field, his curiosity piqued. The live-fire exercise had shifted his perception of humans. Sergeant Jack Daniels, with his formidable shotgun, boomstick, had demonstrated the power of named weapons. But Ziltrax wasn't ready to abandon his skepticism entirely. He needed more evidence to truly understand these peculiar humans. Captain Sarah Mitchell, recognizing the Zerithians' growing interest, proposed a joint training exercise. "Commander, our soldiers will benefit from learning your tactics, and I believe you might find value in ours," she suggested, her tone diplomatic yet firm. Ziltrax agreed, seeing the exercise as an opportunity to further analyze human methods. The following day, human and Zerithian soldiers gathered on the training grounds, a mix of anticipation and wariness in the air. Sergeant Daniels, now a central figure in the exchange, briefed the combined forces. "Today's exercise will test our ability to adapt and work together. We'll be simulating a rescue mission under fire. Stay sharp and watch each other's backs." The exercise began with human and Zerithian squads navigating through a mock urban environment, facing simulated enemy fire and various obstacles. Ziltrax observed closely, noting the humans' fluid coordination and the way they relied on their named weapons as extensions of themselves. As the exercise progressed, the Zerithians found themselves increasingly impressed by the humans' resilience and adaptability. One particular moment stood out. A human soldier named Private Jenkins was pinned down by enemy fire. His rifle, dubbed Whisper, had jammed. Without hesitation, Sergeant Daniels handed him boomstick. "Take her, Jenkins. She won't let you down," Daniels said, his trust in the weapon evident. Jenkins, despite the pressure, managed to clear the jam and return fire with remarkable accuracy. The display of camaraderie and the seamless transition between weapons underscored the practical value of naming them. Commander Ziltrax couldn't deny the effectiveness of the human approach. The emotional bond between soldiers and their named weapons seemed to enhance performance and foster a deeper sense of trust and reliability. Yet he remained cautious, his logical mind seeking further validation. The culmination of the exercise was a final assault on a fortified position. Human and Zerithian soldiers worked in tandem, using a blend of their respective tactics. The Zerithians provided advanced technological support, while the humans showcased their strategic ingenuity and adaptability. As the simulated battle reached its peak, an unexpected complication arose. The training grounds AI, designed to adapt and challenge participants, launched an unscheduled drone attack. The sudden onslaught caught both sides off guard. Commander Ziltrax, seeing the potential for disaster, took decisive action. "Fall back! Regroup at the central courtyard," he ordered, his voice commanding. Sergeant Daniels, recognizing the urgency, rallied the human soldiers. "You heard the commander! Move it!" In the chaos, Ziltrax found himself fighting alongside Daniels, their movements synchronized despite their different backgrounds. The drones pressed their attack, and Ziltrax saw an opportunity to test his hypothesis. "Sergeant, use boomstick!" he shouted, tossing the weapon to Daniels. With a grim smile, Daniels caught the shotgun and unleashed its devastating power on the drones. The combined efforts of human and Zerithian forces eventually overwhelmed the AI's defenses, securing a hard-fought victory. In the aftermath, as both sides regrouped and assessed their performance, Ziltrax approached Daniels. "Sergeant, your boomstick is indeed impressive. Perhaps there is more merit to your traditions than I initially believed." Daniels chuckled, wiping sweat from his brow. "Glad to hear it, Commander. There's a lot we can learn from each other." As the sun set on the training grounds, the sense of mutual respect between humans and Zerithians had solidified. Ziltrax felt a newfound admiration for these seemingly irrational yet undeniably effective humans. He knew that the lessons learned today were just the beginning. The bond forged between humans and Zerithians during the joint exercise hinted at a promising alliance. However, either side anticipated how soon their newfound cooperation would be tested. The morning after the exercise, an urgent alert shattered the early calm. "Unidentified vessels entering Earth's atmosphere," blared the intercom. Commander Ziltrax and Captain Mitchell exchanged a glance of concern and determination. "We need to act fast," Mitchell said, her voice steely. "Let's mobilize our forces." As alarms sounded, human and Zerithian soldiers assembled swiftly, ready to defend against the unknown threat. Ziltrax and Mitchell coordinated their efforts, deploying a mix of human ground troops and Zerithian aerial units. Sergeant Daniels, ever ready, stood beside Ziltrax. "Commander, looks like we're in for a real fight. Hope you're ready." Ziltrax nodded, his respect for Daniels clear. "We will face this together, Sergeant. Let's show them the strength of our alliance." The first wave of alien attackers descended upon the training grounds, revealing themselves as a rogue faction known as the Kralins. Ruthless and technologically advanced, they sought to exploit the perceived weakness of Earth's defenders. Their initial assault was fierce, catching many off guard. Despite the chaos, human and Zerithian soldiers fought back with unwavering resolve. Daniels and his squad used their named weapons with deadly precision, each shot a testament to their skill and bond with their gear. "Boomstick!" roared once more, tearing through enemy ranks. Meanwhile, Ziltrax directed Zerithian forces with strategic brilliance, leveraging their advanced technology to counter the Kralin onslaught. The air buzzed with the hum of Zerithian drones, providing critical support to the ground troops. As the battle intensified, a critical moment arose. A Kralin strike force had breached the command center, threatening to decapitate the leadership. Ziltrax and Mitchell realized the dire situation. "We need to hold them off until reinforcements arrive," Mitchell urged. "If they take the command center, we're finished." Ziltrax agreed. "Sergeant Daniels, with me? We must protect the command center at all costs." Daniels grinned, his eyes gleaming with determination. "Let's give them hell, Commander." Together, they raced toward the besieged command center. The Kralins, relentless and brutal, pushed forward with overwhelming force. Daniels and Ziltrax fought side by side, their contrasting styles blending seamlessly. Each blast from Boomstick echoed with defiance, while Ziltrax's precise strikes cut down enemies with cold efficiency. In the midst of the chaos, Daniels was knocked to the ground by a Kralin warrior. His weapon skittered out of reach. The Kralin loomed over him, ready to strike. Ziltrax acted without hesitation, drawing his own blade and dispatching the attacker in a swift, lethal move. Daniels retrieved Boomstick and stood, slightly winded but grateful. "Thanks, Commander. I owe you one. We protect each other," Ziltrax replied, his respect for Daniels deepening. Their combined efforts managed to hold the line until reinforcements arrived. Human and Zerithian forces surged, driving the Kralins back. The tide of battle turned, and soon, the attackers were in full retreat, their assault repelled. As the dust settled, the surviving soldiers gathered to assess the aftermath. Casualties were tended to, and the wounded were cared for with a mix of human and Zerithian medical expertise. Captain Mitchell addressed the weary but victorious troops. "Today, we proved that together, we are stronger than any threat. Our cooperation and trust in one another are our greatest strengths." Ziltrax stepped forward, his voice resonating with newfound conviction. "I came here skeptical of human ways, but I leave with profound respect. Your traditions, your bonds with your weapons, they are more than sentiment. They are symbols of your resilience and strength." Daniels, standing beside him, gave a nod of agreement. "And we've learned a lot from you, Commander. This is just the beginning." With mutual respect solidified through shared struggle, the path ahead was clear. Humans and Zerithians would continue to learn from each other, their alliance growing stronger with each passing day.